Thanks, guys. And hello, data family. It's been a minute since I've been able to attend. So I'm just glad to be here. And I feel like I'm following Trombone Shorty after the great presentations we've had. Nelson, like you, I really enjoyed that. That was one of the highlights of that New Orleans conference. So today, folks, we're going to be talking about higher levels. We've dove deep into analytics, and Kelly's presentation was fantastic, and the tips from Nathan and Nelson. So now we're going to pull back up and talk more about why do we do dashboarding? Why do we do the things we do? Really, it's to help businesses create value and to make decisions and to change. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some stuff we've done at InterWorks. Before then, though, I'm going to do some polling here. We're gonna make this a little interactive. I know this is the second session. Folks are ready to disengage. You're ready to get back to whatever you were doing and go walk the dog or go check email or get an afternoon snack. You can go to this link right here, or I'm about to switch my screen as well. We're gonna have some interactive polling here through my presentation. I'm gonna go pretty quickly through the main content because what I wanna get to today is the demo. So if I go real quickly through the slides, don't worry, I'm going to provide them in a PDF format to Jen afterwards so she can share them with you. So hang on to your seats here because we're going to go quickly in the remaining time that we have. Let's flip over to our polling. So the first question is just getting a poll of the audience is how long has your organization been using Tableau? So you can vote via text, you can vote via web, however you choose to vote. That is just giving us a feel for where everybody is in the audience on their experience. And if you try to vote and it blocks you, it's because this is a free account I just set up and only allows 25 votes per poll. So sorry I didn't pay for the full version yet. Looks like we got a pretty experienced audience coming in, so that's fantastic. I think you guys will kind of get where we're at on this talk we're about to go. Let's go to the next question. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest level of engagement, how well do you think Tableau is enabled across your organization? That would be, I think this is really important as we think about all the great content we put in. If we take some of those incredible tips that Nelson and Nathan shared with us today, but if it's not engaged, if people aren't using it, it's almost like that if a tree fell in the woods question that we like to ask. This is actually a big challenge across organizations with data and analytics. If people aren't using it, it's not really providing the value you need it to. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more time here to vote, getting to see some of these answers come in. We got some fun questions at the end too, so stay around for the end. There will be some fun questions.
I'm struggling to get to the next screen. So I did one. How do I get to the next one? I don't have a button for that.
I've got to activate it. So that's a good question. I thought it would automatically advance you. Maybe you have to stop and do it again.
Hit refresh. And
yeah, maybe hit refresh. If you're on the web browser, hit refresh. Thanks for saying something, Nelson.
Even hitting refresh, it took me back to the first one. I'm not sure. But I'll keep recording.
Okay. We got a few that are coming through. So the next question here is, what's keeping you from basically saying Tableau is evangelized completely throughout the organization? Is it hard to find content? Is it data governance, data quality issues, or data literacy? Is it legacy reporting systems? That's starting to take the lead here in our voting, security policies or other internal policies. And it looks like data literacy is taking the lead. All right, this one I'm not going to answer yet, so we'll go back to this one in a second. Go back to the presentation here. So most of you are probably familiar with InterWorks. We are a consultancy. We started in '96 with the idea around technology, really more old school, so to speak, IT, networking, telecom, servers. But in the mid-2000s, a guy named Dan Murray in Atlanta started up the BI practice at InterWorks, and We work with all kinds of clients of sizes. We love working with small. We love working with large clients. And we've been working with Tableau since the mid-2000s. And we've been working with Snowflake and Alteryx and Dataiku and DataRobot are some other partnerships as well. What we love to do is we love to say we're a people-focused consultancy. We love focusing on delivering great value for and creating strong relationships with you guys. And we do everything on the data and analytics stack. So if you need training, we can help, and infrastructure, analytics, all that. So if we talk about business solutions, what does it take to create a great business solution for data and analytics? I'm going to take a specific example. Most of you know I've spent 18 years prior to InterWorks at 2 different restaurant companies based in Atlanta. So that's really what I'm going to talk about today is taking this example of restaurants and retail and using that use case to frame our conversation today. Common challenges in analytics with restaurants and retail outlets. They're mature companies, but they tend to lag in technology. They've been around for a while. They understand their business. They got to deliver either great food with great service, or they got to deliver great products with great service, or products at low prices. But that's their business. They're interacting with customers. Their business is not technology and analytics, so they tend to be technologically behind, especially the older companies. They're a highly distributed environment, and if you've ever worked with data, this creates a specific paradigm you have to solve for. Lots and lots and lots of point of sale outlets, consolidating the information at each location and consolidating all the locations, maybe rolled up to a franchisee concept or rolled up to a operational hierarchy concept and then into a corporate entity and then analyzing all of that. So there's data replication, data flow challenges you have to solve for. In these types of businesses, there's also lots of user and user types. It could be you're delivering analytics to managers. It could be we're delivering analytics to team members on the front lines. It could be that we're delivering analytics to a CEO or CFO and executive leadership. So there's all different types of users you have to solve for in these companies. I mentioned point of sale in the distributed environment, but that really is a specific thing. And point of sale provides its own unique challenges with data and analytics because transactions have to be finalized before you pull in the data. They can always be changed. There's refunds. There's things you have to deal with point of sale data. And what I've also seen very common with clients in the space is they fall in the technology stack trap. And what I mean by that is it becomes really easy for a technology leader in these organizations to say, we're just going to be all one vendor. We might be, we're going to be all Microsoft, or we're going to be all Oracle, or we're going to be all whatever it may be. And it seems enticing on the onset, but when it comes to analytics, this actually becomes a trap. And then talent management, because these companies aren't technologically first, they're delivering service, like we said, it can be challenging to get the right talent to do analytics well. And then now we've got a pandemic. So therefore resources are limited, budgets are getting cut because these companies are facing the public and the public isn't out in the public right now as much as they used to be because we have a pandemic. So these are all the things that are playing into what we're talking about. And then data is just bigger and bigger and bigger. Hitting the drive-through and the checkout lines. It's constant data flow left and right for these businesses and coming from all different places. Not just traditional point of sale type sources, but it comes from everywhere. So how might we solve for this? We want to leverage the best technology that delivers the results you need, that fits your budget and maximizing the talents you have. And obviously Tableau enables all of these things. What we like to say is we like to look at a client and say, we want to deliver best of breed technology. That's what you're going to see here with the demo I'm about to show. We've got source data coming. We call it like bring your own POS. Could be ERP data, we're agnostic there, spreadsheets, whatever. And using the APIs available, we can migrate data into a database platform, like a cloud data warehouse like Snowflake. And that's what you're going to see here is the demo we're doing is actually on top of Snowflake. And then there you're going to have a live connection to an analytics platform like Tableau. All of this is going to be delivered here inside of our custom, what we call a custom portal. We call it a curator now, we've rebranded it. But leveraging Tableau's APIs that they make available, it makes it all easy to access, easy to manage. And then as we talked about, data literacy was a big problem with our users here. we'll talk a little bit about how this can help with that. So why embedded? Why do we want to take this? Why won't we just point everybody to the Tableau server? I'm going to switch over to our polling question again. So we got one more polling question. So this is going to be a free form question. So if you want to go back into the poll, what are some brands that do branded experience really well? That's the question we're going to throw out here. If you think of brands that do a branded experience well, what might those be? Apple, there you go. That's probably most people's first. Coca-Cola. The shape of their bottle is unique. And Apple's growing. We got a few more apples. Disney, absolutely. Chick-fil-A, See if we get a few more in here as well. The Braves, yep. I guess it's probably supposed to be Atlanta Braves. NFL. Disney's a leader in the clubhouse right now. Home Depot, that's one. Nike. So we understand what branding is, right? Let's go back here. This was one of the first ones that came through. I think everybody knows what store this is. Without any sign, without any labels, everybody knows that this is an Apple store, just based on the look and feel, because they have branded it that well. I think most people probably can recognize this store. There's no logo, there's no store name, but based on the red color, based on some of the shapes, based on the iconic, I can't even say that word, the icons and the end caps, we all understand this is a Target. M&M's has a very unique flavor of styling. It's big and bold and in your face and in their stores, and that's their brand. But you understand immediately, I'm in an M&M store if you've ever been to one. I think most people understand this look and feel in a restaurant space. You got the sacks of potatoes and peanuts available. Well, used to have peanuts available, but when we can get out of the pandemic, places like this, we'll be able to experience this whole branding experience that Five Guys offers. So embedding your analytics makes it a branded experience. And at my prior life, using a portal really helped engagement. That was one thing that some folks answered on the poll, was engagement was not there for Tableau. So making it look and feel like your organization's analytics really does help engagement, because people feel like, oh, this is ours. This is another tool I've got to learn. This feels like we actually did this for us. There's also an extensible experience. One thing that Tableau does very well with opening up APIs for us to leverage is we can customize the Tableau experience and not be limited to the default experience. You can have customized loading screens. I don't know if you knew that, but you can customize, instead of having the spinning wheel, you can actually, through the APIs, customize that. We can have tutorials. We have clients that take advantage of this, that actually will have a tutorial when a dashboard loads. They click on a dashboard screen, and then here you go, remember this, or add notes about this dashboard, or even have a quick demo video on how this dashboard should look and how to interact with it. We can also hide filters and take filters off of the main screen. By what we like to call them sticky filters, but over to the side. And again, this is all just leveraging APIs that Tableau has available for us to use. We can also help tell a deeper story. Kelly did an amazing job talking about the story of the COVID data that we've been seeing in the state of Georgia here. Data tells us a story, and that's when it becomes valuable to the business. And that's when it helps us to make decisions and helps to add for insight. So we can actually, using the APIs, either use story points in Tableau or using other pages in the Tableau dashboard, we can actually have something that's a little more interactive as we browse through a story and provide users with additional context to what they're looking at. So we're going to stop here and I'm going to go over to our demo. What we like to call this demo, there we go. So this is This is what we call Interburger. Interburger is a fake restaurant that we developed at InterWorks. It is a play on our name. Even the logo is a play on our InterWorks logo, the little burger there. And this is publicly available. You can go to this site when we're done here. You can go to it and play with it all you like to your heart's content. We have two experiences. If you are my age, you probably remember Choose Your Own Adventure books. And so we kind of have a very light version of Choose Your Own Adventure books. I'm going to go to the corporate. So the idea here is in a restaurant community or in a retail community, you're going to either serve up data for a corporate user who wants to look at everything, or you're going to serve up data to a regional or a franchisee or a restaurant owner user. So we'll start with the corporate experience, and then you're going to immediately see some of the features that you can do. Branding. We got a nice little bouncy gift here. Hey, while you're waiting instead of the spinning wheel, let's look at our fun Interburger logo bouncing around. And then we're just going to land on a landing page. And by using the APIs that Tableau offers, we can customize this landing page. We have some clients that actually have a lot of different dashboard icons, whether they're shapes or circles or whatever. They might have a grid that you might pick from. Hey, I want to go to this dashboard. Here we've chosen to land on more of an executive dashboard that can give an overview to the business for anybody who lands in here. And I can scroll down and get a little bit deeper analysis. We've even leveraged Tableau's projection and prediction capabilities here to say, hey, we're not quite through September, but we're projecting 12 million transactions in September. So it gives an idea of what it could be, and Nelson and Nathan showed some great visual tips, and we've done some similar things here by creating some custom buttons, and all this is just something that is at our tooltips and at our, not tooltips, that's a bad word to use in a Tableau community, but it's at our fingertips to be used here. A couple things I want to point out is we embed, we want to create a user experience that allows the user to easily interact with analytics. And I found that in my prior life, the general managers in the restaurant and then the executives, both were the two hardest audiences to serve up Tableau to. The executives would want to get stuff real quickly, or they might squirrel around in the Tableau server, where the middle management and the folks that are creating content understood how to interact with Tableau server real appropriately. And then the restaurant users, we didn't want them in Tableau server. We just wanted them to see the information they needed to see, make their decision to run the restaurant, and move on. So that's why an embedded experience was important to us, and this was at my prior life. But one thing that was important to me, especially for the executives, was the search. Because when you search in Tableau server right now, you get workbooks, you get views, you also get data sources, you might get users. So the search is so robust, but if I start looking in here, oh, what's that drive-through sales report? I remember Karl sharing me that drive-through sales report. I can just come in here and search for drive-through sales, and now I've got just the dashboard. So this actually will limit the search to what you want your users to actually see and interact with. And we talked about data literacy being an issue. Think about using icons like this in a dashboard and landing in a branded experience. If someone's new to your company, they might not understand that order time is actually the time a car sits at the order point in a drive-through. They might think it's the entire order time. Well, here, just by using a simple icon in the dashboard, we've actually helped enable data literacy. Same with window time. It's pretty clear. Okay, it's the time the car spends at the window getting their food delivered to them. And again, we've got just dashboards that you would be familiar with in Tableau. A couple other things I want to point out here, just in this example. We can actually leverage a report builder. So maybe there's when we can travel again and your executives need to get on an airplane. They might not be able to consume Tableau on the airplane, or maybe they just not going to be in a good Wi-Fi. We can actually capture dashboards here inside of the portal. And we can actually do more than just one dashboard. Instead of just exporting the whole dashboard and all the sheets in it, we can actually create slide by slide. And I'll show you how that works here in a second. Maybe I want to go look to see where are my restaurants located. Again, this is a made up restaurant chain. We got roughly 5,000 locations in this made up chain. And maybe I want to see all the restaurants I've got in New York City. And I can scan through here and say, okay, that's where that restaurant's located, and that's where I need to contact them. So maybe I want to take this shot too. I can capture that. And you can see I've got a template already loaded in our portal, our standard brand template for PowerPoint. So we're just using the APIs. We're loading this in, and now we can actually export this as PowerPoint. And it's going to download that as a PowerPoint tool. And I've got a PowerPoint loaded down here. And there we go. We got those two different shots. So that's something that can be really useful, especially for upper management if they need to present something remotely and they don't have good access to your environment. I know we're getting close to time here, so I'll move quickly again on some other things. We talked about we're in a COVID era. Something we also wanted to throw out there, just as a thought-provoking thing, again, you can come in here and play with us later, is we created what looks like a seating chart. So we found a generic seating, restaurant seating chart that was available. And imagine this is one of our Interburger restaurants. And what we were able to do was map each seat using it's a tool that we have out there called Drawing Tools that you actually can get to as well, which allows you to take a map or an image and create data out of it. And so what we've done is said, hey, if you've got a 6-foot requirement to be a part, let's go to current state. So this is 100%. I got 232 seats in this restaurant. All of these are violating my 6-foot distance rules except for the 2 at the bottom. So maybe I need to make sure every single seat is 6 feet apart. So if I do, these are the seats that should be open. And I've got 2 different configurations, A or B, right? And over here, I've got 94 seats used in this configuration. So I've lost 59%. Well, that represents $326 in sales every day that I'm losing. So therefore, I need to generate 11 more cars in the drive-thru to make up for those sales if I want to keep my same revenue going. I also have the concept here of groups. So assuming every group that comes in can sit together, we could just isolate tables instead of seats. And in this case, we can actually seat a few more. And there's obviously a help guide with this. We're leveraging tooltips to do that. Excuse me. Last thing I'll show is sometimes it's hard for us to create content for some really on-demand questions. Some of you may have used Ask Data. It came out in 2019.1. And Ask Data is Tableau's natural language interactivity. The nice thing about Ask Data is Ask Data can hit any data set. So the data set you've seen all these dashboards so far hit, this is the same data set. So maybe there's a leader in your organization, you're in a meeting, you don't have a dashboard that answers the question. Let's say the chief marketing officer, she says, hey, I think we did drive-through sales last quarter in Texas. I think it was at this level. But your dashboard doesn't necessarily answer that, but you know the data's there. Well, we could go ask that. So what were drive-through sales in Texas last month? And I may not know, if I'm a user, I may not know which columns to hit, right? So we talk about data literacy again. Sales, well, there's a column called sales. That was pretty easy for Tableau to determine, but I typed in last month. There's no like month field. I said, oh, there's a business date. Maybe that's the one you want to use. So Tableau took business date in the last month. I typed in Texas. That could have been a district. That could have been any level of the hierarchy, but Tableau said that's a state name. Let's start with state. And then especially, this is impressive too, that Ask Data can do this drive-through. My destination column is where drive-through sits. And we can go over here and actually Ask Data will show some data values that we can break down. Similar to if you ever use Tableau Prep, it gives you a little bit of a data preview. But the nice thing here is I didn't have to tell it which columns to look at. I just asked the question and I was able to determine that. And maybe we'll look at this by day part. And I can add that to it. And I could keep going and drilling and asking the next question. So if you have users that don't necessarily have a dashboard answering the question, this is an easy way to really add value quickly, is by leveraging Ask Data. And obviously everything you create in here can also be moved into a dashboard at some point. The last thing I'll show on the demo, and I know there might be some questions coming up, so I want to allow for some questions, and the fun questions too, that you guys are going to answer for us. Remember we talked about corporate and franchisee. So look at here, we've got 5,286 restaurants in our chain here, in this InterBurger chain. Well, if I'm going to go and maybe I'm a franchisee user. So this is the same dashboard. So you only have to create this dashboard once. It's the same portal. I'm just logging in as a different user. I'm going to log in as that franchisee user. And you'll see actually using row level security and using the APIs, all it's doing is it's logging in as a different user, and it's going to serve up on the same portal only the data that this franchisee needs to see. So that really reduces development time. So you can see now we've got 626 restaurants here. It's the same workbook, everything's the same on the back end, just using row level security. And that can really help in a concept in your business with that. So let's go back to here. Looks like Disney was our winner on branding. All right, so we're gonna have some fun questions here. Then we'll go back to the PowerPoint deck. So let's activate this question. So who wins the fry battle? And this is kind of what I thought would come out, but I'm surprised Arby's didn't get any votes. I've done this poll before, and a similar one, not the exact same one. And usually it's Chick-fil-A waffle fries is number one, and Arby's is number two in these polls. But this is usually how it turns out. All right, let's do the next one because we got to get on here. It's we're almost at time. All right. So if you're stuck on an island and you can only take one popular restaurant food item with you, what would it be? So this is open-ended. Keep it clean. Keep the answers clean. So interested to see. And I know everybody's really hungry now. So I know we're done with this call. You're going to hop straight to your afternoon snack, I'm sure. Or if you're joining outside Atlanta, maybe it is lunchtime for you. So let's see what you guys would. Cheeseburger, Chick-fil-A nuggets, Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. So we got to zoom in on this. This is so small. Chick-fil-A tenders, pizza, sweet green salad. I'm not familiar with that one. Margarita, there you go. Checker burger. Spicy nuggets. Hey, Karen, when's Chick-fil-A getting spicy nuggets?
Oh, man. I know that we're testing spicy nuggets, or the last I heard there was a test, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I wish we had them now because I could go for some spicy nuggets.
I saw you guys are testing pimento cheese somewhere, and that would sound amazing. Karen's getting accused of voting multiple times. Actually, I made it so you cannot vote multiple times.
I tried. It didn't work.
Yeah, I made it so you can only vote once. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, these fun questions too. It certainly makes this kind of presentation, a little more interactive and to think about it. So let's get back to our deck. So making it happen, what you just saw there, and sorry I'm losing my voice. You can do this yourself. Like I said, we usually just leverage the APIs in the Curator product that we built at InterWorks. The cost for you is your time. It requires web development knowledge, and Tableau provides, excellent documentation on how to leverage the JavaScript API or the REST API. But that's really what it comes down to. So DIY. And if you want to purchase, we're not the only partner that does this. I'll just be transparent. There's lots of other partners that also produce a similar type tool. But I would encourage you, if you do want to purchase, go with a partner that you know and have a good relationship with, and that has a deep knowledge of those Tableau APIs. That will certainly shorten the time to results. So when you purchase, you're going to get the results faster, or at least you should. So, and here's some highlights for the Curator product in InterWorks that we have. So you guys can get this in the deck later if you want to review it. So again, thank you guys for attending this afternoon on a on a rainy, stormy day here in Atlanta. And if you're not in Atlanta, wherever you're at, I'm really glad to see you guys are all here, and wish everybody here in the data family health and that you're all doing well. So we'll open up for a few questions now.
We've got one, Carl. We've got a question. Are there APIs to access the Ask Data engine?
There are some. Really, it's more for embedding. So you can actually embed that search of Ask Data in. I would have to ask our team on that if they have done any actual hey, can you write an API to ask that specific question? So that's a really good question. So I don't know the answer to that one, but I do know there's API available to have access to it and to embed it. If you want to embed it a little differently than the way I did the easy embed on that portal. I just said, hey, embed link, paste it into my web browser, editor tool, and I'm done. That's how easy it is. But there is ways to do just the search bar. So.
And can you remind everyone what API could be used to get to the search button?
It's more than likely going to be the REST API, but again, I'd have to dive into it. I'm the one that wrote it, so it's more than likely going to be the REST API. Usually Tableau exposes everything in JavaScript and REST, but I'll find out the answer and I'll put it in the follow-up with our stuff.